So anyone please just confirm whether once the screen gets visible to all of you and my voice is audible. Anyone can please randomly confirm so that we can start. Anyone can confirm please whether the screen is
The
visible to
screen is
you.
clear now, sir, and your voice is audible also.
Okay, okay, thanks for the confirmation. So again, morning to all of you. Manoj, Avinash, how many are you? Avinash, Manoj, Nikhil, and Shubham Patel. Okay. I know, see, it's a lazy Sunday morning because it's been difficult to all of you, even for me. But no worry, it's just a demo session. So we are not going deep into technicalities. This is just to show an overview. So morning, guys, this is Gaurav Gupta on behalf of RF Tech Solutions. And today I'm here to just to, summarize about, just to give you a demo session on the upcoming 5G optimization training module, which will be purely on Ericsson system based, right? So in this demo, I'll show you the modules, the submodules, the topics basically that will be covered during a duration of approximately a month, comprises of 8 to 9 sessions. So I'll show you what are the topics that will be discovered, how we have designed this training module, so that it will help you for enhancing your knowledge in the 5G technology for RF optimization. uh, RF optimization means the guys who are already in the RF optimization field, they will be able to relate it in a fast-paced manner. But we in the previous batches also, past batches also, we have been some members who are from non-RF background. For example, transport operations or like protocol testing, something like that. So ATS designs its module in such a manner that it will not be typically a college kind of theory class in which only theory will be covered. So we have designed our module in such a manner that it will help you in your real world, mean in your day-to-day deliveries for RF guys and those who are planning to build up their career in RF field or want to transition. So it will just give you an aid. It will help you to enhance your competency so that you will be more confident. And before starting anything, one thing I would like to tell you that every session will be kind of open discussion. So it will not be like, even I'll be the instructor in all the modules. So it will not be like that, kind of a monotonous conversation. I mean, I'm speaking and questions are only meant to be asked during the end of the session. Absolutely no. Questions, more and more number questions will always be welcome. You can stop me during the session, during the beginning of the session, during the end of the session. Okay, even if you forgot, even like after completing a session you collect some doubts and you come to the next session, that will always be welcome. We are discussing one KPI, that doesn't mean that I will not take the question of any other KPI. No, it will be an open discussion. It will not be interview. It will not be something like to judge your technical competency. It is nothing like that. It is just a preparation. It will be an open discussion. So it will be a two-way discussion from my side and from your side. Okay, so let's start. So this will be the contact number. Let's start with the. So see, total of 6 modules will be there. Just a minute. Okay, a total of 6 modules will be there. Okay, in this 5G training session, the complete training program of approximately 1 month. So we will go from module 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. I'll show you the topics that will be covered, how this journey will take place, and accordingly, the batch will be started. The commencement of the batch will be communicated by Saugan, Deepak, anyone from ATS management. So here you can see the contact numbers. Although you must be having a contact number, but still, from my side, I'm just giving you, because you will also. I don't know. Still, you are added. You will be added in a WhatsApp group, in a closed internal WhatsApp group, in which you can share your issues. The training class schedule will be shared. Any questions, any of the feedback if you want to share. So for those all purpose, the WhatsApp group has been created. You will be added. Still, if you're not added, you will be added. So you don't have to worry about that. So we will start with our module 1, which will be, we will not go directly to the KPI part. Okay, the technical training module doesn't mean that we will exactly jump on the KPI part at the start itself. No, we will go from the scratches. Approach will be like from simple to complex. So, following that simple to complex approach, we will start with our architecture part, 5G architecture and performance framework part. So, all the topics that will be covered that you can see on a screen right here in front of you. So, architecture we will start with basically the fixture, the components, the nodes that are being used in the complete 5G architecture. Guys who are already working, just in between that, among you, just want to know any one of you, like Nikhil, Manoj, Avinash, Shubham Patil. Just want to know that any one of you who's from like non-RF background, anyone, so that it will give me an idea. All guys are from RF background, or anyone is there from like non-RF background? Guys, can you confirm, please? At least speak, guys. Avinash, Dharmen, Manoj, Nikhil, Shubham, you guys all from RF background or some other background also? Can you please confirm? Yeah, Shubham, you can unmute. If you want to speak, you can unmute, no?
From RF only.
Sorry?
From RF background.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Just a minute, guys. आया नहीं है नहीं है. Guys, there's some receiving call. I'm putting you in mute. Just give me a minute.
Sir, RF background, sir.
So mostly all from RF background, no?
Yes.
Okay, Shubham, OSP fiber network. Avinash, okay. Okay, no problem. Just wait, guys. 1 or 2 minutes. Gaurav is on call.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, guys are posting in the message. Manoj, yes, I am working in OSP fiber. Okay. Shubham is from fiber optics. That's okay. RF. At least you're from telecom. That's okay. So, yeah. Guys, just quickly. Screen is still visible, right? And I'm audible, right? Anyone, please,
Yes, sir.
quickly? Okay, okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. So we'll start with this architecture framework. Guys, because you're from telecom background, I hope that you have some fundamental knowledge on, LTE part, the traditional LTE part. So 5G is like many of the concepts you will see that, they are similar to 5G only. And wherever any new term, any new concept, any new technical term comes that is absolutely or partially different from LTE, that I will spotlight, they will throw a spotlight, and we will discuss that part in detail. Okay. So architecture, these topic will be covered starting from the plugin nodes, the components of RAN, and not only RAN, from the core as well, because 5G has two modes of deployment, SA and NSA. This one, SA stands for a standalone deployment mode, and NSA stands for a non-standalone deployment mode. What does it mean? Standalone means the architecture will be purely 5G. That means the RAN component and the core component will be only 5G based, and there will be no involvement of any other technology, for example LTE. So that is standalone. NSA means there will be two legs. There will be involvement of LTE also. For core operations will be handled by LTE technology, while the RAN part will be handled by 5G technology. So as we know that, and mostly initially operators used to follow with the NSA deployment, and some of the operators, they may go for SA also. It depends upon how the planning, what the capital they are having. So all these things depends. So NSA, we have some deployment models of there, some options are there. So if we talk about like NSA, the most common, or I can say the most commercial method is option 33x. And if it is SA standalone, it is option 2. So core is NSA, the core is LT. So we have to study the core network elements also. What are the core network elements? What their functionalities? By which interface it gets connected. So interfaces will also be there. Okay. And as you know, if you talk about the basic difference, you know that because if we talk about the architecture of LT or 4G, see, LT architecture is a kind of flat architecture. Okay. Primarily, it is hardware based. But if you talk about 5G, so 5G is architecture is based upon cloud, 5GC, which we can say. So we can say it is a cloud native virtualization service based architecture, which includes your edge computing as well. Okay. And if we talk about like modulation coding scheme, guys who are already working for LT, or you have gone through the black and white key concepts, you know about the modulation coding schemes that LT support, like QPSK, like 16 QAM, like 64 QAM. Now, what difference 5G makes from LT? So 5G, it is not having, if we talk about the spectrum and frequency range. So 5G uses two kind of frequency range 1 and frequency range 2. So frequency range delivers you spectrum of supports the spectrum of less than 6 gigahertz, if we say. And frequency range 2, it is entitled for, for applications of high bandwidth, like millimeter wave, that supports up to 24 to 100 gigahertz. So because this frequency range 2, that means 5G is also entitled to support the higher bandwidth applications. So that means it also supports the higher modulation coding scheme. For example, 256 QAM. This was not there. If you talk about LT Advanced or LT Pro, we can say that it supports 256 QAM, but purely 5G supports your 256 QAM. That is your higher modulation scheme. While talking about subcarrier spacing, you know that LT has only fixed subcarrier spacing, that is 15 kilohertz. Fixed subcarrier spacing. But if we talk about like this one, a 5G, so we have flexibility in choosing the subcarrier spacing. So if we talk about 5G subcarrier spacing, we have some ranges. 5G subcarrier spacing, it supports 15 kilohertz, it supports 30 kilohertz, it supports 60 kilohertz, it supports 120 kilohertz, it supports 240 kilohertz, depending upon the application demand and all that. So that's how it goes. So this will be our purely our architecture performance framework. Then after finishing up the
Sir,
architecture concept,
there is
yeah,
one
please.
question from my side.
Who's Manoj? Yeah, please.
You
Sorry?
told that in 4G we have fixed carrier spacing,
Mhm.
and if we talk about 5G, could we increase the carrier spacing according to our need?
Yes. We will go in detail.
Can you
This
tell
is
me the
just
range?
sorry.
Can you tell me the range, exactly range up to which we can
That's what I've written. That's what I've written here. In 5G, okay, above the default subcarrier spacing range of 15 kilohertz, we have the liberty to choose 30 kilohertz, 60 kilohertz, 120 kilohertz, and 240 kilohertz. I have written over the chat. You can see this.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, this is the ranges. In detail, on what application, on what criteria it depends, that we will discuss in modules in detail. Okay, don't worry about it. This is just a demo. The purpose of this class is just to show you the topics. That's it. Not to directly start to the concepts. Okay, so don't worry about that. So after finishing up the hardware part, complete architecture part, their plugin nodes, their components, their core network elements, their interfaces. Okay, we will go to the KPI slowly, one by one. So talking about KPI, we will start with the accessibility optimization. Why? Accessibility is the first gateway. For example, if I consider this KPI from a house, your house. Okay, what is the gateway of your house? The main door. Unless and until you open the main door, the guest or any person will not be entitled or will not be able to enter into your house. Okay, so main door is the gateway. So likewise, in network, the first gateway of the user is the accessibility KPI. So module 2 will be purely based on accessibility KPI, in which, and as you know, accessibility means, because it measures your success rate of users gaining services access after request probability of receiving a proceed to select the signal. So it is the first gateway, right? So we will start again. I'm telling you that whatever the topic we will discuss, the module we have designed not to, complete a syllabus kind of thing, but how this training it's going to help you in your day-to-day deliveries, for any of the certification that you're preparing, for any of the preparing you for the interview. So by keeping in all those factors in mind, ATS designs its training modules. So in accessibility, we will start with the RAG call flow, which is very, very important. And you can say that during any interview, every second interviewer used to describe what you understand by RAG call flow. Can you understand it? What are the messages, or what are the factors? What are the steps that are involved in it? So we will start with the RAG procedure. Then we will see the associated KPI, the KPI and the sub KPIs, their ranges, their formula, which is used in accessibility optimization. After formula, we will discuss because NSA, as I told you, that it supports both the technologies, LTE as well as 5G. So it is called as our ENDC, EU-Tron dual connectivity. One leg is your LTE, the anchor node. Anchor, basically the base is called as anchor because it is, so we can say in ENDC or NSA, we use the existing infrastructure for the core of LTE. And the RAN is supported by newly launched 5G. Okay, so we will see ENDC call flow also. What are the messages that are involved? What are the steps that are involved? How ENDC call proceeds from origination to the termination. By now we would be covering RAG call flow. We would be covering all the KPI formula, the KPIs and the sub KPIs associated for accessibility optimization. So when we are already discussing about the KPI, definitely we have to discuss the issues, the factors that leads to the degradation in my accessibility KPIs. So for issue I'm talking about, if we talk about any of the issue, okay, any of the technical issue, first we have to segregate, or we have to categorize, we have to bucketize that issue. Okay, in technical concept, we will not be able to find the solution in a random manner. First we have to categorize. Categorize means, the issues related with the radio end. Is it a quality issue? Is it a coverage issue? Is it a transport issue? So because unless and until we categorize the issue, it will be kind of impossible to find out the correct solution. It will be difficult to build up the correct optimization plan. So first of all, we will see the very common issues that leads to the degradation in my accessibility KPI optimization. The issues that are related with coverage, the issues that are related with admission control, and the issues that are related with interference. So that all we will see. Accordingly, we will see. And one interesting thing which I would like to share with you all, because I promised you that, it will not be a theory class. So even often after every topic, you can say after every 2 topics, I'll show you some of the real world case studies, so that, concept would be fully absorbed into your mind. So, and one thing, because I said that it will be purely Ericsson based, here I have written also, it will be purely or Ericsson based. Yeah, understand the Ericsson specific 5G RAN. So whatever the parameter we will discuss, whatever the counter we will discuss, whatever the concept we will discuss, that will be purely Ericsson based. Okay, so we will not, because when we will discussing Ericsson based system, so that will be Ericsson only. We will not bring any of the vendor in between. For different vendors, we used to design different modules. We don't have a habit to intermingle or to mix up the concepts. For example, in one slide, I will show you, hey, this is the Ericsson parameters. These are the Huawei parameters. These are the ZTE and Nokia parameters. We don't follow those steps because we believe that, it will lead only to the confusion. Today, the expectations are very stringent, very demanding. When an interviewer asks you, okay, please, do you know Ericsson system? You will say yes. Then he will ask you in that domain itself. So you cannot say that, no, I know Nokia, I will answer in Nokia or ZTE part. So Ericsson means I have purely designed in Ericsson style. So I'll show you case studies. So those case studies, what they will show you? First of all, those case studies, they will start with the problem statement. What are the problem statement found? Then the RCA, the root cause analysis. What is the RCA involved in it? Then as per the RCA, the categorization, we will build up a optimization plan, means soft optimization, the parameters that will be used. After that, I'll show you the PM counters, the performance measurement post counters, because whenever you do any changes in the network, whenever you tune some parameters, definitely there should be some factors by which you can measure a performance. I mean, there should be something, right? That will convey you, that will show you the level of improvement that you have achieved. So for measuring those, for tracking those, for monitoring those, we take the help of Ericsson PM counters, Ericsson performance measurement counters. That will also be the part of those case studies. And last but not the least, the conclusion that will show you the level of improvement that is achieved in the KPIs, followed by a KPI trend. KPI trend will show you the pre and post performance. That is, for example, if I take a duration of 14 days. So what was the situation? What is the phase of the KPI? You know, before tuning the parameter, before running out the optimization. And what is the phase of the KPI after doing the soft parameter optimization. So those all will be conveyed with the help of KPI trends. So this will be our module 2 of accessibility optimization. After finishing up the accessibility optimization, that is module 2, we will head towards our module 3. That will be retainability optimization. Very painful, very interesting, very critical part. Nothing but your drop optimization. So retainability, what it actually do? Retainability, it evaluates the services continuity. Services continuity without drop rate, you know, without any failures, without without involuntary detachments. So those all retainability optimization. And just one thing to forget, because we discuss about the RAS call flow, right? So we will also be discussing the 5G call flow. 5G call flow. Every second, you know, every second of our friend gets stuck in the cross questions, because every operator, every interviewer, every assessor, in any certification also, it's expected that at least you should have the concept clarity on the 5G call flow. So SA, NSA, from mobile origination towards mobile termination, that will also be discussed. Okay, yeah, I was discussing about the retainability optimization, the drop optimization. So we will follow the same fashion in each and every module. First, we will see a complete KPI framework for SA and NSA, both standalone and non-standalone. The KPIs that are related with retainability, their formula, the sub-KPIs. For example, drop call rate, data radio bearer rate, PDU session drop rate. Because 5G, already LTE is giving you good data speed. So what factor, what speciality 5G have? If I have a LTE phone, I can run Facebook, I can run mails, okay, I can chat, I can use Instagram and all that. If I'm using in efficient manner, why should I invest my money, my hard-earned money, for buying a 5G phone, you know, to take any 5G services? Why I should do that? So that is the difference. That is the difference. Okay, in Mbps you measure in LTE, in Gbps every operator declares. So in order to, you know, so that my latency will be least as possible, I should not face any jitters. I should use my data services, you know. For example, recently IPL session has been gone, FIFA is going on. So if I'm moving in a bus, if I'm moving in a train, okay, if I'm sitting in a cab in the back seat, and if I want to see a match, a highlights or something like that, but you know, it will give me a pain if I travel, if my YouTube is buffering and buffering and buffering. I need a service, you know, which should be seamless. There should not be any obstacle. There should not be any stoppage. Even if I travel at the speed of 60 kilometers per hour, 80 kilometers per hour, my performance should be exactly the same, in the same manner in which I was sitting in my home, okay, and I was watching on my digital gadget. The performance should be same. So in that, 5G makes the difference. So for that, I have to invest, and I expect that at least the least from the 5G technology. Okay, so 5G, we can say it is mostly like, you know, it is to deliver the efficient, the smooth data services. So accordingly, we have to study those KPIs. So that's why we have segregated the KPIs, DRB, PDU session drop rate. So we will see the formula, the components that are involved, the ranges, how they're being tuned. Because talking about drop, guys, operators are very strict on that. Some operators say that I want my drop rate should be less than 0.5%. Some may say I want my drop rate even less than 0.25%. So those all we will see. Then we will see the abnormal release counters, the optimization part. Optimization part, the parameters we will be discussing in detail. When it comes to drop, we have some timers. LT guys already know. I hope they know. What do you mean by timers like T310, T311 inactivity timer? So accordingly, we will see what effect they deliver in 5G optimization. Any other new timer, we have traditional LT timer, but in NR 5G, new generation NG, new radio, I can say. We have N310 timer also. We have N311 timer also. So those all will be covered. And yes, followed by the case study. Case study will be there. It's our commitment that case study will be there in each and every module, or you can say in each and every topic. The same way, those case studies will be started with the problem statement, the root cause analysis, the parameter plan, the parameters and all that, and followed by the PM counters, followed by the conclusion with the KPI trend. So this will be the retainability optimization. Then we will proceed for the module 4, that will be the mobility. Another very vast topic, important topic. So mobility, as you know, what it calculates, what it describes, or I can say what it evaluates. So mobility evaluates your network ability to maintain service during user movement. Like you go from one location to another location, how to maintain this connectivity. My call should not drop, because drop and mobility are very, they can say very close. They're very close to each other. For example, you can imagine a railway track. Okay, railway track. Both the tracks travel together all the time, separated by the wooden planks and the big stones. So you can say those two railway tracks are your drop and your mobility, retainability and your mobility. If one KPI is impacted, automatically it will impact the other KPI. Your mobility is impacted, so you cannot forget, you cannot remove, you cannot eliminate the analysis of drop as well. Abnormal failures, the redoing failures, they definitely impact your mobility as well. So talking about mobility optimization, we will start with, the types of the mobility optimization, intra-frequency, inter-frequency, then we will start with because for mobility, we have to segregate our issue, whether the failure is from preparation phase or the execution phase. First of all, we will understand what do you actually understand by your preparation phase and execution phase. Accordingly, we will see the KPIs and the sub KPIs involved, their formula. And as I told you that retainability, drop, and mobility are closely related to each other. That's why purposely we have added this topic, that is drop after handover failures. How your abnormal failures contribute towards your mobility degradation as well. Their diagnosis and remedy we will include. Then we will see, guys, because Nikhil was there, Nikhil said that I'm from RF. Other guys also answered. So definitely you would have gone through the, just a minute. Anybody is, what is call flow and how to work in network? Call flow basically, Mayank, I can say you have a 5G phone or you have a 4G phone. You dial a number, okay? You're calling one of your friend. He picks up the call, he will say hello to the Mayank, and your conversation goes on. And then after a conversation, you just, normally you end up the call. So how this call originate, what are the signals that are involved, how your signal is being propagated, your voice is being propagated, what are the catalysts that are involved, unless and until the time in which you normally disconnect the call, that is a termination. So how this complete from party A to party B, this call flow, this is what the call flow is all about. Okay, because this is the expectation that when as an RF engineer, you should be thorough in the call flow. So that is a call flow in simple words, simple, no fancy words, nothing words. Okay, Mank. So yes, we will see LT. You might have seen the mobility events A1, A2, A3, A5. Likewise, we will see in the 5G also. See, events are similar to each other. There is no different concept. But in B1, B2, Okay, here you have 5G also. So handover you are talking about, an operator has launched, suppose, a newly network. Okay, it is doing LT. Now it has rolled to 5G also. So everywhere 5G coverage cannot be at par with LTE coverage. So you go into an area where you don't have adequate 5G coverage. Your call will drop. So how to maintain this continuity? So the mechanism is something like that. Even if you don't have 5G coverage in a particular area, okay, your continuity should not be dropped. Your call should be through. So that is your IRET. Your signal will hand over because coverage will go down, quality will go down. So it will just automatically search for the strong signal. It will find the LT strong signal. It will latch to the LT. So that service continuity can be maintained. There should not be drop. Okay, so for that we will study, we will go through all the mobility events. What does they mean? What impact they deliver? Okay, and we will definitely discuss the parameter optimization. In that parameter optimization, I have specifically chosen those parameters that are that are widely being used, commonly used, and in every optimization they are being used. So what factor they play, what ranges, what are their values, how to tune them, and depending upon those, I have designed the real world case study as well. Those all we will include in our mobility case studies. Okay. Nazo Khan, which signal we get first while getting near to the site? 4G or 5G? Please answer. See, it depends. Now, if we are talking in the 5G vicinity, okay, let's start with the LT. Okay, LT service it is having, obviously, it will latch to the 4G. But now you have one advanced technology. So the basic, the desire, the motto is first your user should latch on the 5G network. You have 4G and 5G both. User will first on the higher technology, the advanced technology, that is the 5G. That is the 5G. Ultimately, what you want to do, you want to migrate your users from existing 4G network to the 5G users. Okay. So at the first point of time, if the user doesn't latch to the 5G, how it will migrate? Operators are investing heavily on the CAPEX and the OPEX. So when you have 4G, 5G, for example, in NSA non-standalone, as I told you, right? It has the anchor node as LT and your 5G. So first it should latch to the 5G. Now, as soon as the user will move away from the G node B, okay, distance, and unless and until your 5G coverage will be in good range, the user will be latched to the 5G itself, and the scenario comes when you don't have your 5G coverage level drops. Only in that scenario it will latch back to the LT. That is the advantage of NSA mode. This is not the advantage of the SA mode, because SA standalone, you have the pure 5G network. Okay, so that's how it works. First it will latch to the 5G, and then it will go to the 4G. How it is being done? So that's how the game of the parameter comes. You have some parameters, you have some mechanism by which you prioritize your user to latch onto the 5G first, followed by the 4G. How it will happen, that we will discuss in detail in our modules. Right, Nazo? So I hope that answers. So after mobility, we will start with our throughput optimization. Another important. Talking about KPI, I cannot say, one topic is less important, another topic is more important. Every topic is important. Every concept is important. So integrity, throughput, I can say. Integrity, it is called as. So integrity, if I talk about it, assess the service quality during active sessions, focusing on throughput. Not only on throughput, on latency, on packet error rate, and on spectral efficiency. So in throughput optimization, again, in a similar manner, we will start with our KPI formulas, the terminology, the factors that are involved in throughput, the factors that that affects my throughput, or which leads to degradation of throughput. So talking about throughput, we will include all the factors in our discussion that affects my throughput. For example, modulation coding scheme, my blur, block erasure rate, how it affects, and talking about throughput, as as the user demand increases, as the utilization, or I can say, as the load increases in your network, okay, it will lead to congestion. It will lead to poor user experience. So ultimately, trade-off should be maintained. The capacity should be in turns. For that, we will discuss carrier aggregation, CA, how carrier aggregation being done, what advantage it adds to the network. We talk about the MIMO. MIMO, if I talk about MIMO, you have already studied in LTE, but because 5G comes with advanced features, so one of the advanced features in MIMO, in 5G, is your massive MIMO. Massive MIMO. Like LTE, you would have shown the configuration of 2x2, 8x8, something like that. But in 5G, it supports up to 30x32, 32x32, and 64x64. Massive MIMO. Massive MIMO. Because if I take the application like if I take a remote surgery or any of the operation that involves minimal latency, for that 5G is there. Because I told you, 5G, it also supports your higher bandwidth, frequency range too, for the millimeter waves. FIFA is going on. Lakhs and lakhs of fans all across the world uses that in the stadium. Heavy users, number of users are there. People used to take selfies, upload the live videos, people go live. So how all this heavy utilization, gets supported from the operator, so that quality will also be maintained, my KPI will also be maintained, and user experience will be excellent. What I will do with the good KPIs, what I will do with the technicalities when my user is not happy. Ultimately, the customer should be happy. So how all this trade-off gets maintained? So for that, we have some high capacity parameters. Those all will be included. And high capacity parameter, how these all being carried out, how all these operations being carried out. So for that, I remember that I have included a scenario of a stadium where a concert or match is going on. So that I will show you, like in a real world, how those all optimization takes place. Okay. And after this, all these modules, we started with the architecture, then we started with accessibility, then we gone through retainability, then we gone through mobility, then this throughput. So after this, our last session will be module 6. Module 6 will be first of all, this will not include any KPI. Until module 5, you will be done with all the KPIs. So why we have designed the module 6? Read this name: end-to-end performance and troubleshooting, right? Just a minute. I was checking somebody else has given some question. No. So yeah, the name is end-to-end performance optimization and troubleshooting. Okay. See guys, after all these sessions, 6, 7 modules, okay, it will be a time for a refreshing. It will be a time of a revision. You study all the way throughout the semester. A student reads throughout the year. When it's exam time, teachers also say, please revise, please revise. So module 6 will be a refresher, will be a revision kind of session. Okay. So all your doubts, feedbacks, questions, something you will feel that, should be discussed again, or something you feel that I have missed. So those all can be discussed in this end-to-end session. You can come. This will be purely your session, so that we can hear from you, your questions, your doubts, your more clarity. Okay. I will pick some random topics for all the way. We started from module 1, any of the KPI, their ranges, we will again brush up on few of the concept on different KPIs. But you can come, if you also come with some good case study, you can show it to the others also. You have some doubts, you feel some topic is being unattended, then you can highlight. So for all those, we have designed our last session. And in that last session, I will also show you some of the KPI dashboards. Again, guys who are already in this domain, RF KPI optimization domain, how daily dashboard looks, how we maintain, how we analyze it. But those who don't have idea or have less idea, for those, I will show you some of the KPI dashboard. And see, you will be, some things I would like to convey you. See, these will be the weekend classes. First of all, these will be the weekend classes, because practically weekday discussion is not possible. Everybody is occupied in their schedule. So these will be purely weekend classes. That is Saturday and Sunday. In earlier batches, some of guys were there who were from the outside India also. I don't know, in these batches, there will be someone, even if someone. So that will be, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday timing will be as per the Indian Standard Time, IST. Saturday, the timing will be from 9 to 11 p.m. in the night, 9 to 11 p.m. Why? Because many of the guys, many of the offices, they open on Saturday also. So it's a normal working day for them. So day, afternoon, evening, it's not possible. That's why we have taken a time from 9 to 11 p.m. And Sunday, it will be a morning time from this one, no. Sunday, our timing will be like 8 to 10 p.m. Yes, 8 to 10 p.m., right? And Sunday, it will be around like 9 to 11 a.m. 9 to 11 a.m. So confirmation of this, near around to this only, confirmation will be given to you by the ATS management. So Saturday, it will be evening class, and Sunday, it will be a morning class, 2 hours. 2 hours class will be there. So by that, we will be completing a journey of 1 month. Okay. You will be added in WhatsApp group, and the recordings, all the recordings will be provided to you, which you can play. Still, you can see every session is being recorded. Let me first stop the presentation. Yeah, every session is being recorded. You can see on a screen also. Likewise, every session will be recorded, and the link will be provided to you, which you can open on your mobile phones. So that training will be accessible to you at anywhere, at any point of time, and there will be no restriction on the access. You will be provided with the video link access. So please, 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 after every session, just revise that recordings, make your own notes. We are here to help you. Okay. But ultimately, it will be you who have to deliver, right? So discussion, questions, open discussion, all-time two-way discussion will always be welcome. We will help you to the extent. We will try our level hard, our level tough to meet your expectations. But ultimately, see, it will be you who have to proliferate in their career. So recordings will be provided to you. And once towards the end of the session, I will also provide you some of the bullet points, one slider point that will show you the RCA, how to categorize them, what could be your approach. So those all bullet points will be forwarded to you, and we will prepare some hand notes. So those all stuff will be provided to you. Okay. So that's how we will cover the journey. Regarding the commencement of this batch, that ATS you can contact with the ATS, you can confirm them when the batch will be kicked off. I request, like today, at present, we are, okay, Shubham Patel is asking something. Sir, could you please let me know what kind of placement support is provided? A placement support, Shubham, I think, Saugan, Deepak, the person which you have contacted first, he will be the right person. See, Shubham, I am here just to carry on with the technical topics. These managerial things, placement, the fee structure and all that, I'm not the right person, Shubham. So you can contact with the person to whom which you contacted first. So I'm just a trainer. So like batch schedule, the contents, those are technical concept doubts I can cover. So yeah, they will definitely help you. Okay, just get in touch with them. They will convey you everything. Definitely 100% placement support provided to you. Earlier batches, many of the guys have been placed in some good organizations with some good sidely structures, but I am not entitled, so I cannot convey you that. Okay, so right now, I know it's a lazy Sunday. 6 guys are there. I insist that please do join the batch. Don't lose the opportunity. At least in the weekends. I know it's tough. After a hectic schedule of 5 days, I know it's tough. But when you want to gain knowledge, because when there is no pain, there is no gain. So at least invest time on yourself. Invest some time on yourself in learning towards the weekend. Just recommend your friends, your colleagues, to be a part of this journey. It's a hardly matter of 1 month. And after 1 month, you will see, the level of difference that you will feel. So in this demo session, that's all from my side. Okay. So please get in touch with ATS management, and let's meet whenever the session will be kick off. Let's make this journey beautiful. Let's make this journey successful. It will be an open discussion. So please, and don't treat me like a typical instructor. Okay. I'm also like you guys only. I worked in this industry. Now I'm working as a trainer. So I really express my gratitude when any candidate comes with its questions. Okay. It's our responsibility to clear your doubts. So with this, we are wrapping up with our demo session. So let's wrap it up. If you have anything to say, guys, any doubt, any question, any feedback, you can say. Otherwise, we will wrap up our demo session. Yes.
To provide training on Ericsson tool, yeah.
Avinash, Ericsson tool only. Ericsson tool only. This purely, this will model will be on
example, sir.
Sorry?
That based on a real-time example with
Yes,
Ericsson.
yes. That's why I told na that I will include the case studies. There will be the real-time examples, real-world examples. The scenario that is being faced in any project, how they troubleshooted it, what level of parameter optimization. So those, for that purpose only, we have included the case studies. Right?
Okay.
So this will be purely Ericsson based. Any other question, guys? Anything you want to say? Avinash, Abdullah, Manoj, Shubham, Nikhil was there. Nikhil has gone. That's okay. Please, guys, just show some interest. Refer to your friends and colleagues also. Come in more numbers. The more will be the numbers, the more interesting will be the discussion is. Okay. So if nothing, we are good to close, and let's see you in the upcoming batch. And thank you so much, guys, for taking out some time for going through this demo session. So it's good to close. Enjoy your Sunday and best of luck for the upcoming week. And let's meet in the upcoming batch. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. So I'm dropping. Good luck, guys.